so tempted to touch. What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, The Last Natty. Checking in, The Last Melon. But this morning, like waking up next to my fiance, like we had a bit of a sleep in, and you know, I'm not gonna lie, we got emotional, like we got teary, like, you know, like this whole build up, everything we've been organizing for the day, knowing the people that are gonna be there to celebrate with us and how important they are to us. It's a very emotional time in the best way possible. So we definitely had a moment this morning. Oh, this video is gonna probably come out after the wedding, so I can actually talk about this a little bit. We actually went and practiced our first dance, and because my fiance is a Latin American dancer, she's a professional dancer, we wanted to do, well, I had to try and keep up and dance to her level to a somewhat degree, obviously not to the level she performs at, but we, for our first dance, are doing a rumba and a bit of an Argentine tango, which I've had to step up my game because I think I'm not a bad social dancer. I'm okay. Like, you know, when you've got tunes on, like, you know, like this one, Tempted to Touch, I can move my hips a little, I'm okay. But the second way it's like, you gotta do steps, I go rigid. I'm like, left, right, like Tin Man, you know, like, it's awful. Like, it's weird how, like, if you are learning steps, you just go super rigid. So I've had to try my best to, you know, actually learn and be an adequate dancer. But it's been fun. And today, you know, she got emotional because I think she's been dancing, she was like 13, 11 years of age. And the fact that she explained it, that the fact that she can share her passion, something she's been doing so long with, you know, someone that she's, you know, deeply in love with, that's what she explained it as. It was really emotional for her, and that was, you know, special for me. So yeah, we got to do that, and that was really special. And just the other day, she got her dress, which I haven't seen. I haven't seen the dress, and I specifically wanted to make sure, I told her I don't want to know about anything about the dress. I want to experience on the day. I want that excitement of like, oh, what are you wearing? And just, I want to feel it all. Because we're not doing a first look, none of that. She's gonna stay somewhere else the night before with her family. And I'm not gonna see her for about 12, 24 hours, and then I'm gonna see her. So I want to experience all that raw emotion. So yeah, it's a very cool time. So with 7 days out, I'm still working towards my goal of getting the best physique I can. I've talked about it in my previous videos that I feel like I'm pretty much there. Like if the wedding was today, I'm happy. Saying that, just because we're 7 days out doesn't mean we're gonna slack off, right? The finish line's there. Now we're not taking our foot off the pedal. I'm not putting my foot all the way down to, you know, flooring the thing. Like, you know, we're not doing some Tokyo drift, Dominic Toretto, one building to the other, flying through, right? We're not none of that, because that we might risk injury if we go too crazy, too hard. But you better believe with 7 days out, I'm staying on top of it. I'm not just eating whatever I feel like it, even though I feel like I'm craving, you know, some good food, some sweets, especially knowing what we're gonna have at the wedding and that delicious food. We've got, you know, pizzas for our canapes, arancini, meatballs, we've got gelati cart, we've got pasta for our entrees, the mains, the cake we've chosen. So I can talk about it a little bit now because, again, this is going to be post-wedding, this video, I reckon. So even with all the temptations and knowing I want to eat, I know I'm so close to the finish line. I'm going to stay disciplined. I'm going to keep working hard. And I hope you're doing that too. Whatever your goal is, keep working towards it. Even if you're thinking the goal is so far away or it's so close, whatever you can to keep yourself in that right mindset, do that. For me, I'm just envisioning that 7 days out, I have done months of my cardio. I've done months of being a bit more conscious of what I'm eating and eating a slight calorie deficit. I'm not gonna now ruin that with 1 week out. Even though I'm going out tonight, with Claude's best friend, who's her maid of honor, and we're gonna go through the wedding. We're going out to dinner, but I'm gonna be smart. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna order something that's, you know, not too calorie dense, right? I'm gonna enjoy myself, but I'm gonna make smart choices. And you can do that too if you go out, if you've got a goal. It's all about making smart choices. So 7 days out. This is probably my last chest and back workout at my gym, because this is the second last chest and back workout, but my last one, I'm gonna do it at my trainer's private studio down in Murrumbina. He's just opened it up, and I'm gonna train with him for my last chest and back session. I want to have that because he's coming to the wedding, and I want to have that. Yeah, I think that'll be a really special session. Saying, hey, let's kill it. And then, hey, I'll see you at the wedding, kind of thing. He's known me since I was 18. I'm 30 now, so I've got a real strong connection. He's a mentor. He's a friend. So I want to share that with him. So this is the second last workout with chest and back at this gym. So let's go get it. Again, I'm going to give some tips on this workout, some tips with the exercises. And as I mentioned, I hope you're staying on track with your goals. And yeah, let's keep working hard. Let's stay positive. Let's stay natty. For those people out there, you know, I preach. I'm being a natural athlete my whole life, and I'm gonna stay natty for this wedding, of course, and I'm gonna stay natty moving forward. So I hope we can all be the last natty. Anyway, you can tell I'm on a high. You can tell I'm excited. So yeah, last natty, checking out, and I'll see you on the next video. See ya.
Alright guys, so if you have been watching my videos for a while, you know that I'm a big fan of supersetting exercises, supersetting opposite muscle groups. So in this workout, chest and back, I do one chest exercise and I rest a short period and I go into my back exercise, because while the chest is working, the back is relaxing. The opposite muscle groups. So it's a great way to get a lot of volume in a short period of time. So I did my first chest exercise, which was an incline dumbbell chest press, working on my upper chest, because for me, that's a lacking point, so I'm prioritizing that. Then I move over to the seated row. As you can see, I'm really taking my time as I'm extending my arms. It's really important. A lot of people focus on just the squeezing of the muscle, but it's important, right? The squeezing of the muscle is just one part of a contraction. When the muscle lengthens, that is also a contraction. It is what we call the eccentric contraction. And a lot of evidence is showing that when you control that eccentric phase of the movement, it is just important as the squeeze, if not even more important when it comes to building muscle. So really making sure I take my time with not just squeezing it and not just dumping the weight, letting the weight take me, but controlling that. So that's the seated back exercise is a great one as well if you want to just put yourself in a stable position and just really focus on controlling the movement. Moving on to my next superset, I really love I've started incorporating push-ups, because being so close to the wedding now, if I can put resistance against the muscle, but reduce the amount of load, the amount of weight, but still keep that intensity up, fantastic. That's what I'm going to do. So push-ups are such an underrated exercise. A lot of clients that I work with can't do a proper push-up. So I would definitely encourage you that, everyone always thinks about doing the weights and the barbell pressing and the dumbbell pressing. Great, but can you do a push-up? Can you do simple, basic body weight exercises? Because if you can't, they're really your foundational exercise before even doing movements where you provide external weight. Master your body first. So because push-ups are a little bit easier for me, I'm doing a deficit push-up. So as you can see here, I've got 2 dumbbells. I've lined it up so that way I've got the right angle that I want, and I'm getting that extra range of motion. As I said previously with the back exercise, this is putting a lot of tension on that eccentric phase of the motion, right? Where the muscle is fully stretched. Putting more tension on when the muscle is stretched can really help with building that muscle. After hitting my push-ups, I wait for 1 minute, and then I've gone into a lat pull down. So my rowing first exercise, that rowing machine, that was working my back in a horizontal plane. Now we're doing a pull down. We're working the vertical plane. So there's more of an emphasis on the lat muscles here. And I've just decided to go with this grip just to change it up. There is no wrong, there is no right answer. If you want to go with a more straight bar with a neutral grip, you want to go supinated where your hands are turning inwards, where essentially your palms are almost facing you, so you're going an underhand grip. If you want to do a V-bar pull down, or what I'm doing here with this particular handle, there's no right or wrong. It's going to hit the muscle a little bit differently, and it's important that you play around and choose the handle where you're going to get the most engagement of the lats, where you get the best feel. There's no point choosing a handle and a grip when you're doing your pull down, but you don't feel it. So you have to play around with it, and whichever one you get the best engagement with, do that. If you don't feel it with, let's say, a particular grip, handlebar, don't bother with it, right? I'm not saying just never go back to it, but choose the one that's going to work best for you and when you get the best feel. Moving on to my final superset. First, doing the chest pec deck. So this is a great exercise to isolate your chest muscles because you're in a fixed position, right? That's a great thing about machines. Once you get the right angle, right seat adjustment, so you're adjusting your height, you can really isolate particular muscle groups and hit certain angles that you like. So I'm really making sure that I'm getting, again, a full stretch. I'm not going halfway. I'm getting a full stretch right at the bottom, and I'm coming all the way and squeezing at the top. So you're really working on isolating the chest, but you're really working on that middle portion of the chest, right? Well, really, you're working the whole chest because you're getting that full stretch. But when you're getting that squeeze, you're really focusing on, again, when you're leaning up, the striations in the chest. Now, to get the striations in the chest, you have to be at a lower body fat percentage, but this allows you to really get that inner squeeze and focus on that inner chest as well. You want to also make sure that when you're seated in here, don't allow yourself, you're going to be wanting to try and wiggle. You might try to want to push your hips forward. Try to keep yourself secured in that chair and just allow yourself to go to absolute failure with it, right? Once you hit failure, you can get away with some partial reps or drop the weight down. As you can see, I've been incorporating some drop sets into this workout. Drop sets are a great way to put even more tension on the muscle and even more volume. Great way to progressively overload the muscle. And then my last back exercise, I go into a dumbbell, almost upright row. So how I think of it with this one is that I'm really trying to focus on my traps, right? So when you compare it to the row that I did in the first, as my first back exercise, that was more focusing on the mid and upper back. But this one, I'm really focusing on squeezing right at the top, which is going to put more emphasis on the traps. So this one, because it's free weight, it's hard to get the right angle. It takes a bit of time and practice. But the way I think of it is that you want to have a slight bend. You don't want to bend completely over. You want to be a little bit more upright. And you're thinking that you're rowing back, but then you're scooping it up towards your neck. So that's the workout, guys. We're 7 days out. As I mentioned, we're still staying on top of, I'm still trying to focus, zone in. I'm not going to let anything get in my way. I know I'm tempted. I've got the cravings. I want to eat, I want to eat some really tasty foods that probably won't help me get into the best shape of my life. But I'm really trying to stay disciplined with it. I'm really just trying to remind myself how important this goal is for me, and just constantly just tapping into that and just reminding myself why I'm doing this is a huge motivator. And I encourage you to do the same for, when you're maybe thinking of coming off the path, thinking about why you started this. Why did you want to achieve this goal? Because most of the time, you created this goal because it's meaningful to you in some way, shape, or form. So remind yourself why you're doing this can really help you to stay consistent with it. So I hope you can do that towards your goals. 7 days out to the wedding. I'll see you guys for the next video. The last natty checking out. See ya.